Hey all, and welcome to Shadow Space, and we are commenting on another BCB video. This is called The View Erupts in Outrage Over Hollywood Actor Telling Liberal Celebrities to Shut Up About Trump. 1 second. Okay. This is uploaded May 12th. This is being recorded May 13th, and link is in the description.
There's something about having heroes that are unattainable for you. That way they can stay in that magic spot. So I think we've lost magic and mystery and all these things.
Well, it certainly happens when you hear actors talk about politics. When actors become activists.
It's like Ricky Gervais said in that skit of his. He said, look,
I mean, that's an odd sort of distinction because arguably you could say that that is the role of comedians who are supposed to be entertainers, is to sort of test the boundaries of what is socially acceptable. So, is it the role of people who find themselves in these positions where they have these positions to entertain people, or they have these places where they're naturally put in front of large audiences of people, do they have an obligation to say something if they think that something is wrong?
Here, accept your little award and fuck off.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, unless you have really studied stuff and really know about a subject fully, who the hell would want to listen to an actor or a musician talk about politics? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, are
People who enjoy the things that they have to say, but it's a double-edged sword. Because, hold on. Sorry about that.
we supposed to follow this? I mean, if we are, what if they lead you down the wrong road? And and politically, I call myself a radical.
Well, because that's sort of the problem, is that you have to be willing to adapt. Because despite as much as you think you know, it's entirely possible that what you know is based off of a false assumption or false presuppositions. You could be wrong. It's entirely possible that our conceptualization of the universe isn't at all how the universe actually functions.
Moderate. I'm like very strong in my opinions, but my opinions don't belong to any political party. And, I just look at what makes sense. And I think we need a common sense party in this country. That's actually what I think we need. It's
Yeah.
just figure it out. It's pretty easy to figure out what this is all about,
A non-ideologically captured party.
Yes.
Yeah. That just is like, okay, what do we need to do here? Instead of it's us versus them.
Well, what if that is the solution? Is us versus them? If you get a bacterial infection, the solution is to kill the bacteria. You don't somehow keep the bacteria as it is, but turn it to your side. You just destroy it outright.
So we got to talk about the cackling heads on The View, who are going to go into a full-blown meltdown over Oscar winner Billy Bob Thornton saying that he's not a fan of celebrities ranting about politics and the president. And of course,
I'm going to bet, I might be wrong, that they are going to bring up the idea that he is a celebrity talking about politics, using a platform, using his celebrity to make an opinion about politics.
The View is not going to be very pleased with a Hollywood celebrity basically saying that other celebrities should not be speaking out on politics, right? Especially when they don't know what the hell they're talking about. which is a vast majority of celebrities.
Well,
Okay, now
because at the end of the day, they're opinions. And if you believe in free speech, then you believe that people should have a right to their opinions. The problem is, at what point is it acceptable, if I am a celebrity, to say, I don't know a lot about the issue. I'm not educated about it. I don't really have an opinion one way or another. You could give me information, and I could give you my opinion based on the information, but I don't know enough about it.
days,
At what point is it acceptable to admit that we don't know?
they're just virtue signaling, saying whatever they can to appeal to the far left mob, right? For whatever reason, Democrats and celebrities are obsessed with trying to get the approval and acceptance of lunatics. Fascinating. So,
Well, they have to, because it's the people who are in their party.
let's get into the View meltdown over Billy Bob Thornton.
And Landman star Billy Bob Thornton was recently on Howie Mandel's podcast, and he shared his thoughts on politically active celebrities. Take a look.
I'm not really big on, like, at awards shows, all of a sudden start talking about saving the Badgers and stuff. It's like, you'll get your, like Ricky Gervais said, it's like, get your little award and off, you know?
Right.
I don't know anything about politics. I have no idea.
Look. Bleep to fuck. So this radio show has stricter standards than what, ABC? I don't remember what network it was.
I mean, and the stuff that I believe about it, I don't want to force it down somebody else's throat because I'm not an expert on that.
What is controversial about this? What is controversial about saying, hey, I don't know anything about politics, so I'm just not going to speak out about it? Right? Like, you know, that is what politics used to be. Right? At one point in time in this country, politics used to be people who actually keep up with
because some people don't know. Some people don't know who their local representatives are. Some people don't participate in the system. Like, the argument from women is men shouldn't be able to vote on abortion because men can't get pregnant. Therefore, men can't experience abortions. Therefore, they shouldn't be able to say anything. Okay, well, so why should someone who doesn't know about the issues be able to vote on the issues? I mean, I guess it can affect them, whether they understand it or not. But if they don't understand it, then they aren't going to be voting necessarily in their best interest. They're going to be voting based on whatever their gut feeling is.
who are informed on the issues. They discuss it. They talk about it. Everybody else just kind of, you know, stays in their own lane, right? They mind their own business, okay? They're going about their lives. They don't really openly talk about it. That doesn't mean that you have an opinion on it. It's just that everybody does not have an opinion that they feel should be expressed, because people had enough common sense to realize that, hey.
Well, see, but, I mean, why? Especially now, I feel like we're in a position where more people are going and making their opinions public.
My opinion is not very informed. I'm not very educated, so I'm going to keep it to myself. But nowadays, everybody is encouraged to express their opinion, and apparently this is supposed to be a good thing for our country, right? This is what they tell us.
All right. Yeah. Well, imagine bragging about.
So there has to be a distinction between shoving it down your throat, telling you what to think and what to feel and what to believe, versus giving your opinion. I give you my opinion. I don't tell you. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. It's entirely possible. At what point does it stop being you giving your opinion, and does it turn into people using that opinion as justification, it turning into more than just an opinion. It turns into an argument that people use.
About how uninformed you are.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think he's saying more, it's like, I'm not an expert, so my opinion,
No,
like,
I don't know anything about politics. You're an American citizen. Don't you watch the
well, I
news?
would say
Don't you
that
read the paper? Come
I
on.
do think the civic participation, our vote is a privilege that so many have.
Yeah, but at this point, the newspapers are so partisan. You read one newspaper, you get one story that has one spin. You read another newspaper that has the same story, but has a completely different spin. Just reading the newspaper isn't enough. If you read something that's published by Fox, you're getting a vastly different interpretation of the events than if you read something that's published on CNN or ABC. Like, that's...
died for and fought for, that to be participating in our
No.
political structure, you need to inform yourself enough to vote. I don't think that every celebrity
Some single parent with 4 kids doesn't make enough money to make ends meet, is dependent on all these government services, is supposed to be paying attention and have an informed opinion on what's going on in the war in Iran.
needs to scream from the mountaintop what their thoughts are, because I'd much rather see them march door to door and recruit people voting in your local government, helping people.
No, but they have an influence. I mean, Springsteen right now and Robert De Niro have
but
big
they have
audiences.
No, they have.
And so does, wait a minute, so does John Voight and Kid Rock, okay?
No, they have audience.
All of them have the right to speak
And so do you. And you have this right.
out.
They
And
do.
So again, so at what point is it not me telling you what to believe, and you naturally finding value in the things that I have to say? At which point does it matter who's saying it?
They have the right to
use your platform.
See, and I
The
will
only
say,
people, the
I
only
think you
people
do-
applauding them, though, are people that agree with them.
I actually do think you have an obligation. I think we are at a crisis point
That's
in
right.
this country.
Because at this point, it's all just echo chambers. It's everyone listening to the voice that they want to listen to, whether that voice is right or wrong.
I think democracy is.
We're in an age of personal truth where what you think is right just is right.
Participatory. I think when you have a platform, that means you have an outsized voice. And when you have a platform, I think that you have a responsibility to speak up.
See, but what does it take to have a platform, especially nowadays?
About what's going on in this country. In my view, silence is complicity.
And every minute,
we need every
day,
single
we're getting
ally to
closer.
speak out.
Every single ally. So you don't want your enemies to be able to speak. You want your allies to be able to speak. And this is the problem. You don't believe in free speech. You don't.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if this guy's an ally, right?
Because your enemies are listening to you, and they're listening to you say, we need to muster more support. We need to muster more troops. And they're going back to their lines, and they're saying, they're talking about getting more people up. So we might want to think about doing the same.
We need every single ally to speak out. I'm not sure if this guy is an ally, right? That's not something that Sonny Holston
Well, see, no. Just yelling about it doesn't do anything.
should assume. But the fact that she says ally tells you everything you need to know about what she actually means here, what they actually mean, which is that everybody who agrees with them, right, aka Democrats, should speak out, right? They should have an opinion. They should make their voices heard, even if it is an uneducated opinion, which should tell you everything you need to know about what Democrats believe about the psychology of their target voters, right? The people that Democrats appeal to, they explicitly appeal to the ignorant masses, right? They appeal to individuals who are not educated on it.
Well, because you don't necessarily need to be educated on an issue. You need to be given proper information about the issue. Me being educated has nothing to do with you lying to me about what the position is.
Issues. They say, in fact, even if you don't feel like you have a grasp of the issues, you should still vote, right? Even if you feel like you don't know the issues, like you're not informed enough to speak out on an issue, right? You still need to speak out. You still need to participate, aka you still need to vote, as long as you agree with the Democrats, right? As long as you agree with the left, you should vote. They do this because they understand in their minds, right? They know that the average voter is not very informed, and they want to encourage them to vote regardless, because when you're promising people free stuff and you're not very informed about what free stuff actually means, that is not free, that it costs money, that it hinders growth, right? When you don't understand these things, that's how you get ignorance to sign up for bad policy, right? Which ultimately helps keep Democrats in power and control. And that is why you have these liberal cities, basically the only places in the United States where you have these deep blue population. Liberal cities, very small pockets of radicalized lunatics where it just so happens a whole lot of them, a bunch of them, pile themselves into the same area on top of each other and made life very expensive, right? Created their own unique set of problems for them, okay, for themselves. That's only in their city, right? These people think that they should control the rest of the country. And how
They
the
do.
rest of the country
They think they're on the right side of history. I've said this before, that justifies any action. Anything that they do is fine because it's for the movement, because it's for democracy.
should be governed. Just because it's a lot of them packed in one area, right? That's what they believe. And it's easy to convince a bunch of ignorants, right, to get out and vote when they're all packed in one area.
No, you don't have to convince them. You just have to pick them up and take them to the voting booth and tell them which circles to fill in.
All brainwashed, all radicalized. And that's
all you have to do is go to your local university with a bus, your local college, and be like, hey, come vote. Don't know what the issues are? We'll tell you.
currently what we're dealing with. So Democrats, they thrive off of ignorance. They always try to appeal to people that they feel are dumb. And all of them should not be participating in our so-called democracy. That's the problem with this country. Too much democracy in liberal cities, right? Specifically, everybody should not be voting. If you're uninformed, then you should not vote. If you don't understand the issues, if you don't know what's going on, then you shouldn't vote.
See, but the problem is that, like, you talk about wanting a red wave. Well, that's not going to happen if there are a lot of uninformed voters. The more people you have sit at home, the less voting power you have. You being in a Republican majority state is irrelevant when a majority of that majority doesn't know enough about the issues to actually go and have a say.
But Democrats want those people to vote. Again, why? Because when you're ignorant, right, then you tend to vote Democrat. They know this, right? They know this. One thing I can't say about Republicans is that they don't talk to their voters like they're stupid, like they're dumb. Republicans talk to their voters like adults. Democrats talk to their voters like they're stupid, like they're ignorant, like they're children.
We go closer to an autocracy in this country. We're about to lose it. I think that people don't seem to understand what's going on.
But if I may say, okay, A, Billy Bob Thornton's one of my favorite actors. I'm never going to say a bad word about him, starting with that. But B, a lot of this table criticized George Clooney when he wrote his Biden op-ed.
Flashback.
President Biden is fighting right now for his political future.
Yeah, didn't George Clooney come out and say that he thought that Joe Biden looked bad? He thought that he was physically declining.
Democratic
He got
National
raked
Committee
over the
Chair
coals for it.
Jamie Harrison I know, Harrison, of course, is still in Biden's corner, but he's losing more high-profile support. George Clooney wrote an op-ed piece in the New York Times claiming that after he saw Biden's condition at the recent fundraiser, he doesn't think he's up for the gig. George Clooney. Couldn't he tell him that in person, for God's sakes? He has to write an op-ed piece. And Obama's former speechwriter, John Favreau, claims he's not the only one. Watch.
Every single person I talked to at the fundraiser thought the same thing, except for the people working for Joe Biden, or at least they didn't say that. But I remember my wife, Emily, turned to me after the fundraiser and said, what are we going to do?
See, and that's what, again, Democrat Party split. Was Joe Biden mentally healthy or wasn't he? They don't agree. They don't agree on anything.
I mean, and I said, well, there's a debate in a week.
This 2026 election is going to be a big wake-up call for all of these people. Or it's not,
well
because they don't learn anything.
We'll think, well, he was just tired because he flew all the way back from Europe, and that'll be that. Or he'll be like this at the debate, and then the whole country will be talking about it.
Wake up, America. Wake up, Democrats. It's time to stiffen your spines and knock your knees and be for your president. Because of a 90-minute debate, we throw all of that away? Come on, folks. Focus.
No, because it wasn't just a 90-minute debate. They had been saying this. This had been the narrative for years up until this point.
Focus on what is important.
People don't even, I don't think they understand what's at stake yet. I really don't. When you see that these two people, Trump, the convicted felon, is neck and neck with a man who actually saved the economy. The World Bank said last month that the U.S. economy under Biden is boosting up the entire global economy right now. Why doesn't George Clooney mention that in his op-ed piece? I'm mad at George Clooney right now, even though we dated.
It's very different. But I will say this. I don't like that George Clooney did this. I don't like that George Clooney aired this dirty laundry to the world. I think that these conversations are happening. I think they should be happening because our democracy is at stake. But they
Isn't it amazing? Suddenly we shouldn't have transparency. Suddenly we should keep our personal thoughts to ourselves. Not anymore. Now everyone who's an ally needs to come out and say something.
should be happening privately with the commander-in-chief.
See, if you had just committed to a narrative, one or the other, you would have had a candidate that you could have agreed on, and you would have just continued as normal. You didn't do that.
Who we should have the utmost respect for. And that goes for all of this. This is a man. Goes for all of them. Right. This is a
Not Donald Trump.
man who saved the soul of our country.
That is a celebrity using his voice, saying what he believes.
Fine.
It can't just be when they agree with your
He can say it, and I
position.
can criticize
But
it.
here's what
That's
I'd say.
called free speech.
I think that oftentimes we give too much.
See, it's not though, because you criticize, if you criticize my speech for being wrong, then that may cause me harm. I may be very psychologically distraught at you criticizing my ideas. So if you criticize me, then it's possible that I will get so shamed or so scared that I won't want to continue to voice my opinion anymore. So no, if you want to say that if freedom is the ability to do things without barriers, then you have to express your opinion about my opinion in a way that doesn't cause me harm, right? Or cause me to not want to give my opinion anymore. You can't put that barrier up, or you can't harm me in that way.
Celebrities say when they wade into things. I care way more about, honestly, I call it slacktivism. If you get on social media, you do your post and you're like, I did my part because I have 1 million followers. No, go door to door, get involved in your community, get deeper on the issues. But I don't think we should bully people into saying you have to speak out.
It's a litmus test of the mobs. Right now, people speak up and half the world wants to hate them. Yeah. So when you're looking at entertainers and people that are looking to unify people, if they feel so called, like Kerry.
If you feel that you need an individual platform, you are not unifying people. You are further dividing them.
Washington does
Do it,
to
yeah.
be civic and loud. Good for her. But if you don't feel that, I'm tired
It's
of
all just the echo chambers that you subscribe to. It's all the voices that you listen to.
people saying, no, now's the time. What do? Get on Instagram and just say, I hate Trump.
And now is not the time. I don't know when is.
But what they say matters. We don't need more uninformed takes right now. We need
Okay. As one who can actually speak.
I mean, there was that guy the other day who sold those or the beer day. Like, people are speaking up. That is a very ignorant take.
To this, you have every right to feel how you feel. Celebrities cannot go door to door to people's houses because it's hard to do. So people can do their thing the way they can do it and be grateful that someone is doing stuff. I'm not mad at you if this is not something you're comfortable doing, because you're doing something I don't know you're doing. I believe that people are taking care of business the way they need to.
Wow. Whoopi.
This is not a collectivist mindset. A collectivist mindset would be saying, what can I do to help? Clearly I'm not doing enough because the problem is continuing to present itself. So what do I need to be doing more of? That's not your answer is, they will just let them do them. What kind of answer is that?
Is becoming more and more and more incoherent, right? The more I listen to her talk, the more I'm like, I think she has a little bit of the Joe Biden going on, right? Because that was a whole lot of word salad from Whoopi there. But as you guys should have picked up on during that segment, once again, the panel, the liberal panel here, Joy Behar and Sonny Halston in particular, they have been exposed as hypocrites, giant hypocrites, due to the fact that when George Clooney spoke out about Biden and his mental decline, they said he should not have spoken out, right? That should have been a private conversation.
Well,
they
see,
were upset.
again, even here, they said that they didn't say that everyone should speak up. They said that their allies should speak up. They still have a stance that not everyone should have a voice.
Because he said something negative
I think
about
they do.
the Democrats, right? When it's bad for Democrats, don't speak out. When it's good for Democrats, when it's anti-Trump,
Yeah, then say whatever you
then
want.
you are obligated, you're mandated to speak out on the issues. Ain't it funny how that works, right? Ain't it hilarious how that works? It's almost as if these people don't have real principle. The only principle that they adhere to is...
They started off saying that people should have a voice, and then they changed to, well, some people don't want to have a voice, to some people shouldn't speak because that's not what they're best suited at, to now we're just saying, I don't know what people should do. They should just do whatever they want because I can't think of what they should do, so just do it. Great. Like,
whatever is
really
best
inspirational.
For right? Whatever they feel is best for Democrat power and control, that is what they believe. Because if you are a Democrat, even if you are a Democrat, you are a liberal, you are a Democrat donor, a supporter, you cannot publicly say anything bad about Democrats because that is perceived as helping Trump or helping Republicans, and therefore it's not allowed. But if you have something good to say about Democrats, then you are mandated morally, according to the liberals, right? According to these left-wing activists.
Well, because the country is going to hell. The whole place is dying. So you need to say something so that you can stop it.
People like Sonny
Except people have been saying things the whole time, and they haven't stopped it yet, so I don't know what they think that adding more voices is going to do,
you are morally
but...
obligated to speak out, even if you're uneducated, even if you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If it's anti-Trump, if it's pro-Democrat, you are morally obligated to speak. If you don't have anything good to say about Democrats...
I mean, at this point, it isn't even moral obligation. It's one where, if you have something that isn't political, and someone finds out your political affiliation, they're going to use that against you anyways. It doesn't matter. Even if you're uneducated on the issues, you're still going to be judged based on how you vote.
Don't say anything at all.
Just
that is what
your refusal to pick a camp doesn't mean that a camp won't be picked for you.
People believe. Complete and total hypocrites. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Because identity, like, yes, it's self-defined, but other people have to acknowledge that identity. You being trans means nothing if all of the people around you don't acknowledge your trans existence. Society has to play along with you being trans in order for your transness to manifest in the way that you want it to. So if you don't have a definition, even if you do have a definition, people will label you whatever they will anyways. It doesn't matter.